What is the most powerful trait we have? You need power, speed. Let your imagination do the rest.
Undisputed, the Mexican Monster Pack out now.
The final part of this, I want to talk about the big show this weekend, this Saturday at Wembley Arena, and again, as I suggested earlier, the tickets. If you want to if you want to buy a Royal Box experience, the link to the tickets is in the comments. You can watch the show from the Royal Box with dinner, drinks, everything included. So on the chief support, you've got Lawrence Okolie versus Kevin Lerena. We've seen Kevin Lerena in the past, give Daniel Dubois, Justice Huni some really hard fights. And he's just come short, and it's a wild fight for Lawrence Okolie to take, with 5-6 weeks notice, and I think Lawrence is in a good position with all the boxing governing bodies as well. So he could have just sat and waited and fought for a world title, but he's fighting on this undercard against Lerena.
How much has Lerena notice has he had?
I'm assuming about the same, 5-6 weeks.
So that's the thing going to come.
But they've both been active recently as well.
Yeah, but listen, they can be active all they want, but it's what they do. Most fighters after they fought, they're not straight back in the camp. They're off the rails doing something they shouldn't be doing. Generally eating, going out partying. So they might have just had some inside information where Lerena's the most available, who's prepared to take it without as much preparation. He's dangerous, Lerena, but I wouldn't imagine that this fight's been took on Okolie's behalf without him having done a bit of homework and realising this kid's probably not up to scratch. He might cause Okolie a few problems early on because he can punch, he can fight, and if that does start to happen, what Okolie will do is go back to his revert to type and smother the kid, hold on to him, use his eye, smother him, tie him up, tire him out, and then pick him off. That's what he'll do. It might be a different fight if Lerena was fully primed and had a proper full training camp, and maybe the same for Lawrence, but I wouldn't imagine this fight's been arranged unless they've had a good look. And Joe Gallagher's not stupid. Joe Gallagher watches everything, all the videos, he'll be getting all the inside information from people, be phoning around, checking. He'll have done his own work. I saw something recently with Scott Quigg doing an interview talking about Joe saying, he was very selfish with us. He made sure everything, was in our favour. When we boxed, and he did his own work and he knew the inside out on everybody, all the opponents, our people were training, feedback from people who've been sparring them. So I wouldn't imagine that Joe's overlooked this. It might look dangerous on paper, but I would imagine that Joe's done his own work and give it the green light, because he was never one, Joe, for taking risky fights, short notice. He always made sure he did his own work.
Were you back into in that?
I think Okolie will probably scrape through it, but he could possibly stop the kid, because the kid's probably not up to scratch, you know what I mean? So Okolie has got the ability to stop the kid. His height and his reach, he can punch a bit. It's just depending on how much of a messy fight it's going to be.
Good stuff. So you're back in Okolie?
Yeah, he should win it.
Points, knockout?
Hard to say.
Okay. So we're going to leave you on the fence here, but you're back in Okolie to win. Main event, Alexander Usyk, Daniel Dubois. It's a second fight. And one of the things I picked up from Dan yesterday, he said in a video that Alexander Usyk's an old man. He's 38, Dan's 27. It's mad to think he's 27. He's done so much already. Obviously we've seen a resurgence in Daniel Dubois against different opponents. I think the obvious question is, has Usyk shown signs of aging? And can Daniel Dubois capitalise on this?
I think Usyk's well aware that he's 38 years old and he'll box like a 38-year-old. I think the only chance, Dubois had a good comeback since getting beat by Joe Joyce, and the setbacks he's had, and knocking out Anthony Joshua were great. He'd built his confidence. He'll have developed mentally, and he's definitely developed more physically. He's got that confidence. And under fire, under pressure from Joshua, he knocked him out. He had him down 2 or 3 times, which were great. He showed no fear. Maybe Joshua underestimated him. But Usyk's well aware that Dubois is 10 years, 11 years younger. And he'll have to box very smart, out of the way, keep him long, frustrate him, not go to war with him, where Dubois really has got to jump on Usyk, pressure him early, throw everything at him. Because if Usyk can old man him and keep him off and feint and make Dubois question himself and then pick him with the points and nick his way through the fight. That's what Usyk will do. Because I think if he starts trying to get physical with Dubois now, there's every chance that Dubois could clip him. So he's got to be very smart, Usyk. He's got a box for 6 rounds. Frustrate Dubois, pick him to bits, and then wait for his opportunity. Whereas Dubois can't afford to do that. Dubois has got to jump on him. He's got to make a fight out of it. He's got to throw everything early and try and gas Usyk. That's what he's got to try and do. But whether he can do that, I don't know. I don't know if he's got that in the tank. He can have a fight, Dubois, as we saw against Joshua. But like I say, Joshua is a totally different fighter to Usyk. Usyk's a smart fighter and he's well aware of what he's good at and where he's starting to fail. So it's a case of that Usyk's got to pick his way through this fight and be very smart with him.
Do you see a potential outcome of Dubois stopping Usyk? Bearing in mind the last time we saw Usyk get dropped was, I think it was the amateurs.
Yeah, I also saw the body shot what Dubois caught him with. If that was a low blow or a body shot, it actually looked like a body shot to me. But if it was, he styled it out well. He got through it, and then did he stop Dubois?
Yeah, I actually remember what you said to me in that interview we did after that fight. I think you said if the referee called it a count and Usyk would have got up on 8, grinded the round out and still won. I think that's what you said. I still remember you saying that.
Yeah. So, I think, like I say, Usyk's well aware, even though he got the stoppage win over Dubois, he won't for 1 minute think, yeah, I've got this in the bag, I know I've got his number, because Dubois is slightly different now. And it's a case of Usyk just boxing his way through, setting the traps for Dubois. He might not stop him this time because stopping him is going to require a lot of effort. I think he's going to box his way through it. If he sees the opportunity, he might go for it, but he's got more chance of gassing than Dubois. Dubois' got a young man's body, he's got a young engine. His stamina's quite good. And that's where Dubois has the slight advantage, but it's down to Usyk to control the pace of the fight. And as long as Usyk can control the pace of the fight that he's happy boxing at, he wins the fight. Just Dubois got to force the pace.
Make the final call. Who wins?
I think Usyk on points.
Usyk.
But don't be surprised if he has to come through a few sticky moments early on. But he knows what he's doing, Usyk. He's clever. He's been very consistent all the way through his career, and he knows how to just, even when he came on top with Tyson in the first fight, the middle rounds, and he started to gas a little bit and whatever, he kissed the cross and he came back out with renewed vigour and he beat Tyson, only just. But he's knocking on a bit now, and it will have a part to play, and maybe this is the time. It could go, but Dubois is going to have to fight a clever fight.
Good stuff. Well, I'll finish on Tyson. Actually, just brought him up. He's confirmed that he's definitely coming back. And I think we kind of said we just don't know, but he's made it pretty official. He said he's going to fight potentially end of this year, if not early next year, and then we'll see what happens.
I think it was December when he boxed last time, wasn't it? So realistically, he wants to try and box within the year, because leaving it longer than that's a long time, and he needs to get out and get moving, and he's going to have be in a camp, start training. We're going to box in December time. And it really needs to be training now and breaking into it steady. To give yourself any decent chance of getting back to where he needs to be.
Yeah, judging by his Instagram, he's running every day.
Yeah, well, like I say, you can be running every day, but if you're not living your life right in between, if you're eating cakes and eating shit and eating chocolates, being up late and being all over the place, you do as much running as you want, it's not going to make that much of a difference. It's not at all.
There's talk of him and AJ having warm-up fights and then fighting each other. There's an argument from fans, why don't they just fight each other?
Well, I think we've discussed warm-up fights before. The level, when you're at that level, when you've been fighting 12 rounds in top-level fights, what's the point of a warm-up? It's like, Anthony Joshua got beat badly last time by Dubois. Tyson obviously lost on points. Was it a majority?
No. I think it was unanimous.
Not unanimous.
Fight, yeah.
Was it majority split decision last time?
Yeah, it was unanimous.
So, you know, that level, why do you need a warm-up? You don't. It's the warm-up's going to be doing nothing. It might be a bit of a confidence booster, but you look at the confidence boosters that Joshua had before Dubois, it didn't really make him, you know, any better in that fight. And time's running out. So, realistically, you know, AJ's got to get over that loss. He's got to get back into a camp and get back on it. And same with Tyson, he's had a loss. So, they both lost. So they're both kind of in the same situation, even though AJ got beat badly and obviously stopped, whereas Tyson didn't. So, you know, why waste time now? It's like they're coming to the end of their careers. Just get the fight on. That's what you need to do.
Basically, the person that pays for the fights, I'm assuming it's ultimate for them to say, listen, I ain't paying you for 2 fights. You fight each other or it's off.
Well, you know, it's always makes sense to the boxer to wring out as much money as you can for easy wins, and they're not going to be getting, you know, if they said to AJ or Tyson, right, well, you can both have a warm up, but we're only paying you 100 grand each, they won't do it, would they? So they're going to be getting paid millions for knocking over stiffs, probably. You know, it's a guaranteed win, and if they don't win against the opponent they're supposed to beat, then there's money being lost and potentially big fights being lost. So you can see from the promoter's point of view is, well, you could even get AJ somebody he should beat, but after his last performance, he might not beat him. Somebody might pull something out of the bag and beat him. And that's the end of the big fight. So the promoter's thinking, well, I've lost a big fight for giving him that. It makes sense just to put them in now. That's where they're at. Put them head to head.
Let's hope it happens. But yeah, that's a fascinating insight, but I think we're done. Obviously, next time around we'll talk about the whole Anthony Benavidez fight that got made, but we'll do that next time. But yeah, that's it really. Let's see what happens this weekend. Any last words, Dom?
No last words at all. Don't forget, follow me, follow the competition.
Do you want to mention the competition again? Because this will be part 2. So if you missed the competition in part 1, Dom's doing a competition. He's giving 5 of these books away. And to win this book, you've got to make sure you're following Dom on his Instagram account, as you can see on the page here now. Follow his Instagram. And the question is, what? I'll let you ask the question.
Who was Brendan, my father's oldest brother? And he was the most successful fighter out of the Ingle family, out of the brothers, the old box. He was the most successful. He was the oldest. What was his name?
What was his name and what weight division did he box at?
What weight division did he box at?
So basically, you need to find out his name and then go on BoxRec and find out what weight division he boxed at. And if you want a clue, if you watch the documentary we filmed with Kell Brook, going back to Brendan's motherland, should I say, the link's in the comments. You can watch that. You might find the answer there. If not, you're gonna have to find Google, some serious Googling. But yeah, and you've got to reply with the answer to Dom's Instagram. So DM him.
Follow first, then DM.
Yep, follow him on Instagram and DM him the answer, and we're going to pick 5 people to win that book and get you in shape for probably Christmas.
Yeah, probably Christmas. Yeah,
then you can put it all back on again. Dom, thank you very much.
No problem.
The most powerful trait we have. You need power, speed. Let your imagination do the rest.
Undisputed, the Mexican Monster Pack out now.